Hey guys, so today we are going to be doing, or I am going to be doing a snap page in my snap book. And I haven't done a share and talked about this at all, but I will be doing one after this video. So here I'm just going to show you these supplies. So here are just some watercolors from Michaels that I have, and I love this palette, so we'll be using that today. Some watered down glue, a butterfly punch, Studio G stamp set, and I have a couple more stamp sets. I love stamping on my layout, so I have a couple here pulled out. This is a Martha Stewart's Trajan, half Trajan stamp set. It's a letter stamp, or alphabet stamp set. That's just a Recollections one. Here is a Recollections chairs, and I have them here, but it was the chairs and chandeliers, the Heidi swap stamp set from Michaels. I have a Heidi Grace one as well. And then these are just some Recollections paper leaves, some foam adhesive, a couple of inks, two are Memento, one in London Fog and one in Tuxedo Black, and then just a pink Ink It Up. It's kind of dried out, so we'll be doing something different with that. And then this is from Daiso. It's just a gold stamp pad. Any kind of gold ink will work. And that was a Heidi Swap Color Shining Gold, some wax paper, a cup of water, a spray bottle full of water, and here I just have a little mug of some supplies that you usually will use. So here's a date stamp, some roller adhesives, scissors, paint brushes, tweezers, and a popsicle stick, as well as a Q-tip. And then that's my smash date stamp. So now we're going to go on to the papers. Here I just picked these up actually. I got them at Big Lots, and they came in large packs. They came in like packs of 24 of the same pattern for each of these patterns. And I also have fallen in love with glitter. That's one thing that I've fallen in love with. This is my basket that I leave on my desk full of glitter. I just picked these up from my TJ Maxx or Marshalls. And some of them are just from my stash. The Wow Glitters, I got a 24 pack for like $13 from Marshalls, and then I had a 9 or an 8 pack from Tuesday Morning. So here are the papers. I have some from Studio Calico, Cosmo Cricut, and here I'm just actually showing you the pack. It comes with all those papers, but with the same pattern in it for $3. So this one I believe is from Cosmo Cricut. Or Crate Paper, sorry, not Cosmo Cricut, but Crate Paper. And then I have one from American Crafts from the Amy Tangerine sketchbook collection. And I believe that's Sydney's Snapshots. With just the cameras on there. And we'll be doing some watercoloring on there. I love that they're plain and not colored. Sorry about that. Here's a Studio Calico from their Classic Calico set. And another one. I got two more from that same one, the Classic Calico. This is the hexagon pattern. And I'm mostly using the A sides. Some of the B sides I wasn't too fond of, so I'm not going to be using those. And again, here's another one, and this is just an alphabet one. Now, I'm not going to use all these supplies, but here are the two photos that I'm going to be doing. I actually filtered these a little, like a couple of times actually, to get to where it is now, and then I did a bokeh effect, which is what's in the photos now. And this is the snap page that I used. I have some filler pages, but I'm not using those ones. These ones actually came with the snap book. This is actually like a graph pattern, but I have two pulled out just so that way I could see the placement of the photos. And in the end though, I just use that same one, and you'll see what I mean later. So we'll start off with our wax paper and our watercolors. So here I'm just going to go and take a spray bottle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray some water onto my wax paper as well as the watercolors. I'm going to see what pink will go perfectly with the photo. And I'm just going to go and put it all over the wax paper. Now you can do this with acrylic paint, any kind of paint. Wax paper is perfect for this technique. So this is one technique that I've fallen in love with as well. So here I'm just dabbing some watercolor on there. Then I'm just going to go and put the page straight onto the watercolor itself. So I was having a hard time figuring out how I was going to do it, but that's how I did it. And then I just moved my wax paper up and down to get it at a certain like just the way that I actually wanted it. Now with all that extra water up there, I did some drippage, so I'm just going to let it drip, and then that's how that turned out. So here I'm just splattering some pink splatters from that watercolor, and I dried it with my heat gun to speed up the process. And here I'm going to do the exact same thing with some gray ink, and so you'll be seeing it here, just that dark gray. And then again, same process, just going to go and put it there. Instead of going upwards though, I'm going side to side. I love how this gray one turned out. And I'm going to take the excess and just pat it onto there, and then here you go. Again, I'm going to use my heat tool just to speed up the process. I'm going to splatter some extra paint. Always try to, and go. And I'm going to do some to the back as well. And there's the finished product. So I'm just going to lay my photo out and see how I like it. So here's the watered down glue, and I'm going to use my popsicle stick just to mix it because it's been sitting in my room for a really long time, or my little art section, and so I just wanted to mix it to make sure the glue was still mixed with the water. So now I'm just going to go and splatter this all over my page where I want the glitter to be. And then I'm going to go look for some glitter that I want to use, and I tried to just, I tried to get some more color in there, but I just thought the gold would work the best, so I just used the gold. Taking a scrap piece of paper, folding it in half just to catch my extra glitter so we're not wasting, and I'm going to dump it on there and then put it back into its case. So that's how that looks. So it looks really cute. I love how it turned out. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our Q-tip and the pink Ink It Up ink, and what we're going to do is going to make like a bokeh effect using our Q-tip. So I'm just going to do little polka dots. I'm going to stamp them with the ink, and then I'm just going to start stamping them with whatever ink left I had on the Q-tip. So that's how that looks. I'm going to grab for my heart stamp here from the Recollection stamp set. That doesn't have a name, but that's how that looks. And I'm going to go and stamp that with our gold, or my gold ink that I have. Again, any gold ink will work. I like to use two different adhesives. I'm not sure why I do that, but that's just how I like to adhere everything down. So here I thought I was going to put the photo straight down, but I forgot I had papers. So here I was messing around with which ones to use, and I chose this hexagon pattern. And so I'm just going to cut it down, just eyeballing it. I'm just going to give it that little border. So here I'm just messing around with the placement, and now I'm pulling out my paper leaves, and I'm going to mess around with them to see where I want them. And then I'm going to adhere down my photo. So I wanted something onto my leaves just so that way they don't look very plain. And you'll see what I do with them later. But here I'm going to take out my Martha Stewart stamp set, and I'm going to stamp out Keep Calm, and then an ampersand right after that, and a couple of polka dots. Or not polka dots, but a couple of periods at the end of it. There you go. So it says Keep Calm, and then we're going to do our ampersand next. And then the little dots at the end of, underneath that. Do about 5 of them. So now I'm going to bring in my color shine. I forgot about it before I put the photo down, so now I'm going to do a little bit of splatters with the gold color shine by Heidi Swapp. I'm just going to take that scrap piece of paper and just cover up my photo. And then here's a preview. And now I'm going to work on the leaves, I believe. I get very impatient when it comes to making videos to dry everything, so I just blot dry it. It doesn't really change anything, it just makes it a little bit more faint, but I don't really mind that. So here I'm adhering the paper leaves. I didn't plug in my hot glue gun and I didn't have it near me, so I just used my roller adhesive and it worked just fine. So that's how I adhered that. And now I'm bringing in my butterfly punch. I'm just choosing some pattern papers here, just messing around with what I'd like. And I chose one of the Studio Calico papers. And I used a dimensional adhesive to pop that up on top of the leaves. And I believe that's all for this one. So now we're going to go to my side, and so now I'm just going to mess around with pattern papers again. So I chose this floral one just because it's very girly. I didn't want to use it on my loved ones page, so I chose that one for my photo. And I'm just going to cut a little border around that one as well. Again, just eyeballing. Now, I'm not too worried about the warping. If you don't want it to warp, I prefer not to use your heat tool. And here is a Heidi Grace stamp set that I've had in my stash for a very long time, and I finally am using it. And so I'm using my stamp press here, and I'm going to use my London Fog Memento ink, and I'm going to go and place that where my photo is going to be kind of on top and the bottom of the photo, so I kind of eyeballed the placement. Since there are grid lines, it made it easier for me to see where to stamp. And it didn't come out perfect, but I don't really mind that. I actually like the whole wonky look to it. You could see there's some empty spaces, but it doesn't really bother me. So again, messing around with the placement of my photo. Here again is some watered down glue, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to splatter that and pour some glitter on there. And then here we're going to take our pink, do a little bokeh effect, and then do the gold splatters as well. So we did I'm doing exactly what I did in the front, or for my loved ones page, onto my page. Then the next thing that I'm going to go and do is take my heart stamp and ink that up with the gold and stamp that. And that's how that looks. Really cute. Just trying to see what I can match with the front and what else I can bring in. So I wanted to bring in and here I'm actually going to finish my little saying. So it says keep calm, and spin on. So it's going to say keep calm and spin on. This was our little candid photos that we took on the teacups. The first time we ever gone on teacups together. So I thought this was really cute. And so it just says keep calm and spin on. And then here I'm bringing in some Versamark ink or Versamagic, I'm not quite sure, but it's in mauve, and I'm stamping a teacup from the chandeliers. Let me see here. I forget this one all the time. It is the Chairs and Chandelier stamp set. It's just a teacup, and I stamped that with the pink ink. And here I'm going to bring in some of the arrows, so I'll be messing around with that here. And then I choose a skinny arrow, and I'm using the London Fog ink. And I'm going to stamp it there 3 times. And then I'm going to adhere my photo down. And here you could see I use 2 different adhesives. I don't know why I do that, but it's just what I do. So here I'm just going to do the butterfly again. So you can see I put those leaves down in the corner, and I'm going to do the butterfly punch again. Put that on a pop square. So I wanted to put those arrows up on his page too so that it matches, so I'm going to just put it at the top of the photo, and 3 of them fit perfectly. So here I'm grabbing the camera paper, and we're going to do some watercoloring. I actually had a hard time with this one. I kept cutting out the wrong camera. I don't know if it's going to make sense, but I wanted one of the cameras to go and face towards the photo, but I kept cutting the ones that were facing away from the photo. And you'll see that here that I start to struggle and figure out that, oh, you know, I need to cut out the one that's going the opposite way of that. So I go and cut this one out, and then I realize that it's the exact same thing. So now I cut out another one that was going the opposite way, and I just stuck a piece of tape on the date part of that stamp because I just wanted the little sentiments that are on there. So here I'm just going to ink it up with some Tuxedo black ink and stamp that right there underneath the polka dots or the little dots, and it just says Mad Props. I thought it was perfect because of the photos. We loved how the photos turned out, and so we gave each other props, and I also thought it matched with the Mad Hatter, so I thought the Mad part also matched. So there I'm going to do another one. And that one just says Happy Place because I love teacups, and so I thought that was perfect. Here we're going to do some watercoloring, so you'll see me bring in my watercolors. My paintbrush, this is a watercolor brush. And just a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to do one with some pink here. I'm going to do it with 3 different pinks, and I'm just going to do, or dab some color all over the piece in different areas. And then the way I'm going to mix that is I'm just going to use just a napkin or like some tissue just to blot it off and to mix them all together. See it right here. And then for this next one, I'm going to use a gray and a tan color. It's like a craft color up at the top there. And so I'm using that and some gray. So here I'm going to go and show you how those turned out. There we go. So now I'm just going to go and cut these out and figure out where I'm going to place these. So I'm going to place them underneath the photo so that way they're not on top just like the leaves, and it's just going to be hiding there. And I'm going to lift up the tops there just that way it has some added dimension. And then for this one, it kept on, because it was still a little moist, the paper, the adhesive kept pulling the paper off, so it kept ripping. So I had to just go and grab my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive, and I used that to adhere the camera down. There you go, and I'm going to lift up the side there. And that is all for this page here. It's a front and a back page for my Snap album, my Disney Snap album, and hopefully I can do a share for this whole Snap album, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So here are some photos, and thanks for watching. Bye.